Cutter's Degrassi Unpopular Opinions. There you go. Hey there, hello there. It's Jeff Cutter and welcome you to another Degrassi Unpopular Opinion / hot take. This is more of a hot take. Now, I know this isn't really unpopular among the people who watch Next Class, but a lot of people have been complaining recently about the reunion episode hashtag Throwback Thursday from season 16 or Next Class season 2. So anyway, I'll give you the plot line of it and basically give you the comments on my post. Someone did post about it, but they ruined the cameos. But anyhow, so Throwback Thursday starts with Tristan announcing some kind of alumni stuff, and then a few people, including Liberty and Holly J, talk about stuff. Liberty says that Ultimate Frisbee, cool. I play it in my pre-law class with my pre-law people. And then, of course, Tristan gets asked questions about the whole Frankie situation. And they decided to sit down in the middle of the hallway. Tristan's like, there'll be a lot of people talking about this alumni stuff. And what you're doing is wrong and all that. You can't sit down in the middle of my stuff. So basically, this is in the middle of the whole Frankie racism thing. Simpson still refuses to talk to Lola and a lot of people about the issue. And they also have another ammo is that Tiny got suspended for 5 days for protecting Shay and Lola, whereas, Frankie didn't get in trouble for her racist poster. Simpson says Frankie got kicked off the volleyball team. That's all that can be done. And they're like, no. Can we just talk about this whole thing that there's probably a double standard? No. So Throwback Thursday had a lot of cameos and all that. And the fact of the matter is that, Simpson's tried his best to try to squash all these problems before his big alumni movement. He is kind of the head of the alumni stuff, even from the first episode of Next Gen. He was the head of the alumni organization. Season 3 kind of got that. But anyway, Simpson seems to be indifferent about this. Tristan is trying to block stuff that doesn't appeal to him and all that, feeling that he needs to prove to Holly J that he's a good school president and all that. So Tristan gets a lot of people angry towards him, and then this whole thing, and then Emma pops up out of nowhere with Marco and Paige and a few other people. And, Liberty talks to Emma about this whole racism thing. And Emma's like, I didn't hear anything about when me and Spitter were at Sunday dinner with my folks. So that makes Emma gets Emma a little bit questioning of her stuff. So anyway, it was a powder keg ready to move on. They decided to protest Frankie not getting in trouble for a racist poster saying the white privilege and all that. They want to talk about it. Simpson won't give them the time of day. They basically get Frankie in trouble during the alumni dinner. Like Frankie was to sing the Degrassi school anthem after Maya blew her voice. So the problem is that it was a powder keg ready to happen. And then after a few things, Tristan is told by Mo that, it's things that you don't want to do or you don't want to have happen. Tristan decides to try to calm the students down, and Simpson finally admits that they need to talk about the whole racism and the double standards thing. Frankie does, at the end of the episode, want to run away from her problems because no one's willing to give her the time of day. But in the next episode, she does so, and then she learns that she may be racist and all that, and makes an apology. So the post was made by Ted Devan 96, that said, I felt like the reunion episode in Next Class was very rushed. It was more like they made a quick cameo than actually having a reunion. And the pictures, and they had pictures. They had the first picture with Lola and Shay sitting outside was with Marco and Paige. And Marco Page said that they looked at stats and all that and said that non-white people get into trouble more often, suspended more so than their white counterparts. Page with Spitter in a scene that Spitter says that the school will grant you many chances at life and all that. I think he was talking to Frankie because Spitter was a bad person who got Jimmy shot by accident and had the colon cancer and all that. One picture has Liberty looking at the alumni stuff with Tristan, who's looking very professional. Kind of looks like Sheldon in a sense. One picture has Holly J in it. Nice glow up. One picture has Craig with Sav and Ellie talking about things. It's like, wow, Sav and Craig were in it, and they blew those. And then Mo tried to do a stand-up act for the alumni thing. And then Emma coming in, finding out about the whole protest alongside Liberty. And then Craig singing at the school. So it was kind of cool. Yeah, but it seemed like they wasted all those cameos. There were a lot of comments. Someone said, it's because I didn't expect next-gen characters to appear in Next Class, but I liked it. I appreciated that Liberty and Emma would join the protest because of course they would. They got Emma's characterization better than Next Gen did. I don't know why she suddenly stopped caring about causes. This was integral in her character. Well, to that I say, the fact of the matter is that the Rick Murray situation did it. If you look at my unpopular opinions and all that, I wrote one down about the fact that, I don't know if I did one specifically, that Emma's lack of causes. I think I did do an unpopular opinion about why Emma had a lack of causes, it seemed, stopped caring. And it was mostly to do with the Rick situation because her cause of the Orange Ribbon campaign and for domestic violence made people buy orange ribbons to beat up on Rick. And Emma felt that it was not doing it. It wasn't doing its intended message. And she kind of felt guilty about why Rick was being bullied. And that's why she stopped having causes. She lost her drive because she figured her cause for the orange ribbon was why Rick got bullied, and she blamed herself in a sense. She did do something with Purple Dragon and try to help Sean get out of jail in season 6, but anyway, yeah. Someone even said that my least favorite part is that I pretended that Degrassi had a school song all this time, and it never came up in the past 30 years. True. Someone even said they were pissed about the life and the fact that Emma and Spinner were still married. Yeah, because there was a report like the actress Mary McDonald said that Emma and Spinner would have probably broken up. But no, they still were. People agree that the true reunion episode was the Next Gen first few episodes that had the people from Degrassi High and all that reuniting. Yeah. Oh, Peter's there. That's right. Peter was talking to Sav in that thing. I forgot about that because Peter was there too, and then he showed up in a few episodes later talking to Maya. No, I think Peter did something in season 10 with Maya, but yeah, people actually agreed that it should have been an hour long and all that because the old characters were shoehorned into a storyline they had nothing to do with. Yeah. So yeah, and people said they barely changed their looks. So yeah, I think that it was a decent format, like to try to talk to things, but I think Lola and Shay decided to try to help Tiny out, even though Tiny did say don't get involved because it's my problem, and they're like, why is he just like being a dick? So anyway, Spinner notwithstanding, yeah. It was a good episode. Like it was great to see all the people, but yeah, the cameos were fucked up and all that. I don't know what they were doing. I mean, it seemed that they wanted to do a reunion episode in Next Class for the people in Next Gen, but it just didn't work out that way. the way I look at it is that, yeah, there was a final point, and people were shocked that Emma and Spitter were still married and were buying a house. And then I think the next episode, Spitter was involved with Maya, if memory serves me right, or was it Craig? But anyway, probably both of them, and probably Peter too. But I mean, anyway. So yeah, it was shocking, and it's like Snake not really wanting to talk about things, making him look like a villain. Now there is a point that maybe it's not all Snake's fault to do with this whole Throwback Thursday, this whole Frankie situation. It wasn't all his fault. Maybe he was just maybe it was just a generalization of the school board in general, what they had to go through. And I think in a sense, Simpson, being a lapdog for the school board, may have been told not to deal with this. But I think this whole situation got bad press, and I think the school board had to deal with the situation. Maybe they wanted to throw Snake under the bus, but they would have to throw themselves over the bus, under the bus, pardon. So, as is, it's got to be imperative for people to realize that timing is everything. And the fact of the matter is that it was a good episode. Like, they had some cameos that did have something to do with the storyline and some that didn't have to do anything with the storyline. But of course, the main thing I take away from Throwback Thursday was Tristan being a dick because of his own accord, or was he being a dick because Simpson didn't want anything to ruin his big night, quote unquote? It's a mixture of both. I mean, Tristan wanted to grow up doing Holly J's style for student presidency, but didn't know about Holly J's controversial election in season 8 because the chef decided to pick her over Sav because Holly was popular. But yeah, I feel like Simpson in a way was trying not to have anything ruin his big night. Fair enough, but he probably got a lot more students pissed off at him, and he was backpedaling. And then he decided he had to meet them in the middle, so they did. Now Shay got in trouble because of her protest, and that the Canadian Volleyball Association wanted her to apologize for stuff, but she refused to. And I think the volleyball team probably had to accept the fact that they didn't want to look like dicks and all that. So yeah, it's all about the people. And they ruined this whole reunion episode. By contrast, the mother and child reunion, it was a great one. We got to see some characters and got to know the roles within the Degrassi universe. So yeah, I really think that Throwback Thursday was a format. Like, it was a good format, but it was a wasted episode, and it happened at the worst possible time to do with the Black Lives Matters thing, and to also have not. It's like half the characters weren't involved in the storyline and half were. So yeah, it's kind of a gray area, if you ask me. So anyway, thanks for watching this video and have a good day.